Hi, my name is Chelsea Hatfield, and I'm going to share with you a testimony about how I use essential oils to help support my female cycle. So I'm somebody who has struggled with regularity pretty much forever, but for the past 9 years or so, I've been pregnant or nursing, it seems like, constantly, and so it wasn't a big concern of mine until my husband and I decided we were done with babies, and so I really wanted to get it under control since this would be something I would be dealing with for quite a few more years from this point on. So I had my last baby, Jagger, in February and got my first cycle in January, so the following January. So I had him in February and I nursed him for about 8 months or so, and then had my first cycle that following January. So when I had my first cycle, it was pretty normal. It was kind of long, but I expected that. And then I had another cycle in February, fairly regular, so that was good. It too was a little long, but not a big deal. And then I had a cycle in March, so I was pretty excited about having 3 consistent periods. But the problem was in March, my period just didn't stop. So I basically spotted for over a month. So in April, like I said, I had been bleeding for over 30 days. Granted, it wasn't heavy bleeding, but it was spotting, and more than anything, just irritating. For any of you who have had that, you know what that can be like, just super maddening and irritating, and you just don't know what's going on with your body. And I just knew that my hormones were out of whack, and my body was trying to figure this thing out, and it was time to give it a little help. So I did some research, and I talked to some friends, and I kept hearing about clary sage. So I looked into clary sage, and that seemed to be what I needed to support my cycle and my systems. So I was about to order that when I talked to a girlfriend, and she recommended Sclarescence, this one right here. And so I started looking into Sclarescence, the blend, and it has clary sage in it. And she had great results with it. And so I thought, I have nothing to lose. So I ordered Sclarescence, and I started using it. Once I received it in my order, I started putting Sclarescence and Joy, just 1 drop each, of these 2 oils and a little bit of coconut oil, and I would rub it on my uterus every night. So, and I did that for 3 days, and I kid you not, my spotting stopped. I mentioned this to my midwife when I went to see her several months later, and she thought, hey, you know what, if it works, great. It could be a coincidence, but if you think it works, then that's all that matters. To me, that is not a coincidence. Bleeding for, spotting for over a month, over 30 days, and then using this for 3 days consistently and having it stop. So that was huge to me. I was so excited. I was so excited to stop bleeding. And this is something that I struggled with in the past as well. Between my first and second baby, I bled for over a year. So this is clearly, an issue, and I know I'm not the only one. So I was really excited about that. And I have not had a period or a session of spotting for that long since I started using Sclarescence. So I continued to use it for a while. I wanted to make sure that the spotting didn't come back. So I continued to use it for several months. And then I got to the point where I thought that my body was doing pretty well on its own, so I stopped using it. And my body has done great. It just seemed to really help support it in the way that it needed to kind of get it back on track and back under control, get those hormones under control. And so what I do with Sclarescence now, which, if I see, something, continuing to linger like that or start like that again, I will, of course, start using it. But for now, I continue to use these oils during the time of my cycle. I use Joy on my abdomen and uterus when I'm struggling with that ickiness, the achy ickiness that you get at that time of the month. And that works great. And then I will use Sclarescence if I'm on my cycle, and it seems to be kind of going long. And I have noticed a shortening in my period, and that is wonderful because, like I said, I used to have really long ones. And so that has been huge for me. So if I'm kind of on my 3rd or 4th day and it kind of doesn't seem like it's tapering off, I'll start using the Sclarescence again, just in the same way, just on my abdomen and my uterus. And it kind of seems to help get it, where it needs to be and kind of finish it. So that's huge. And also, I will say that I've kind of noticed a little bit of breakouts that are not responding to other oils that I'm using, and I don't think it's bacterial, I don't think it's stress, any of those things, and it seems to me like a little bit of hormonal breakouts. So I have been putting sclerosins again, just in the evenings. I just put one drop on my wrist and rub it in, and I'm hoping that that will help kind of regulate me a little bit and get me cleared up. So there are huge benefits to both of these oils, and I highly, highly recommend them if you have had any of the struggles that I've had with your monthly female cycle. Thanks so much. Talk